What's going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo. Welcome to a brand new game. Welcome to brand spanking new footage of LawBreakers. This is the team-based shooter from Boss Key Productions and Cliff Bleszinski. Started a new studio. This is their first big project. It's coming out later this year on PC, and it looks super freaking cool. 5 versus 5 class-based chaotic action with gravity gameplay, and that's what sort of separates LawBreakers from the pack, is its pacing and its focus. Here you will use propulsion to fly through zero-G zones. You will use unique weaponry and abilities to take this battery back to your base in the mode overcharge and try to capture a win. So you're going to steal this battery, bring it back to your base, and load it up to 100%. What's really cool here, though, is if your team brings it back to base and, say, charges it up to 65%, then the other team steals it, takes it back to their base, it doesn't reset. They only have to charge it an additional 35%. So it makes for some really awesome back and forth comeback moments and just intense gameplay from start to finish. Combine that with all of the characters, the zero-G in the middle of the map, and the tight quarters that allow each of the classes to really emphasize their skills. This is shaping up to be super cool. Now, in full disclosure, I was away in San Francisco during this hands-on at a different event, so I sent my best friend Volatile Gabe to go play it. He had a blast and downloaded me on all the information, so you're watching his footage that he went and recorded for me. So first of all, big thanks to Mr. Gabe. What a great guy. Second of all, big thanks to Boss Key and the LawBreakers team for having us out there. But it is really cool. It looks great. It plays great. And it has a pacing that is all its own. So there's these health stations. That's the only way for you to regain health. No recharging health, no health packs, but health stations. And part of the reason that's in there is an emphasis on a slower pace. They didn't want this to be a, guns blazing Call of Duty quick kill shooter. They wanted it to be a little bit more tactical and have a little bit more of an emphasis on the mode and on the ability. So you'll get to see two different characters here. One who is an all-out guns blazing guru who has an ultimate ability that allows him to fire homing rockets at his opponents. And then you'll also see footage mixed in of an assassin girl who has blades as well as an energy weapon, and her ultimate allows her to enter a frenzied state where everything is heightened, everything is souped up, and if she gets a kill, her health will recharge instantly. Now, the different classes have different amounts of health, they have different abilities, they have different weapons. Everything is unique, so you're thinking sort of like those character shooters that we've been seeing lately, something like Overwatch, but here the pacing and the mode are really what define it, combined with the emphasis on gravity. So they're using sort of real-world locations. Boss Key has talked about using Santa Monica and some other places that you will recognize, and ripping them apart with this anti-gravity zero-G insanity. You can kick people off the map or kick them straight into the health stations, as you saw right there, and then use bullets to propel yourself through the arenas. So you can fire backwards to launch forward, you can fire up to quickly descend, and that is part of the movement system here that is really something to master. And so they are hoping that esports and the like take hold after a while, because there seems to be quite a high skill ceiling for LawBreakers. Now, a lot of the battles do end up happening inside those base rooms where the battery is being kept, but if you want to be successful, you're going to need to defend from outside the base as well. If you just sit in your base, you will be in trouble. It may seem like a good idea to just lock down and unload as everyone enters, but there are a bunch of different entry points, and some of the abilities of some of the classes are just too tough to deal with in a closed setting. So one of the characters has a zero-G grenade that will just throw your entire team up into the air and make battling incredibly difficult. Combined with the fact that as they attack, the opposing team can come here and just heal up, go in, deal damage, heal up, deal damage, heal up. You are going to be in very bad shape very quickly. So at first I was worried that, man, everything seems to just take place here, but there's one of those zero-G grenades, which are super cool. But you'll quickly notice that in order to be proficient, you really want to take the battle outside, not only to see the exciting environments, not only to fly around in zero-G, but also to better protect the battery. Now, once the battery charges to 100%, you'll notice there's a 20-second countdown timer. So not only does it have to be charged all the way, but then you must defend it for a solid straight 20 seconds. So even if the other team charges it all the way to 100%, you may come in there with a last-second ambush take their team down, steal the battery, bring it back, and have to defend it yourself. It creates a lot of really cool and interesting back and forth, something that it seems like multiplayer games in 2016 are placing a heavier emphasis on. For Honor is a melee-focused multiplayer game from Ubisoft, but that one has a similar mechanic where anything goes, and at the end of the round, it's really anybody's ball game, which I am really liking, especially in games for myself where I don't have hundreds of hours to invest and become a pro. The fact that there's flexibility and the rounds aren't determined after the first 30, 45 seconds, I like that. I've been playing a lot of Doom in the beta recently, and this has an even different pace and different style than that. Again, those health stations just kind of change up the entire philosophy behind your attacks and behind your strategy. And Gabe was very, very adamant that this was his favorite multiplayer shooter he's played in a long time, even enjoying it more than that Doom beta. Now, there are currently, as you saw on the menu screen at the beginning of the video, 5 slots for characters, but Bosky is working on more, so there will be more than 5. So it is 5v5, but your team will eventually be able to be composed of quite a variety of classes/characters. And while the classes are identical across the two sides, the Law and the Breakers, the criminals basically, the characters are different. So they will look different, and they will have different personas while retaining the same abilities and same purpose within the battle, which I think is pretty cool. The 0G, you'll notice, doesn't keep you flying like super slow and crazy like something like Dead Space, but it does change your movement enough to really impact your strategy and your shooting. So there's the Frenzy mode. You'll see it quickly depleting on the bottom left abilities. Gabe said that it was really necessary to play with mouse and keyboard. That's how he played, and it didn't make sense any other way because so much is going on. The Assassin has that great grappling hook as well, and so movement is really factored in. Whether you're affecting your enemy's movement by throwing in a gravity grenade, or whether you're affecting your own via something like the grappling hook, you really need to master not only combat but also movement, and movement will be used to escape as well as to be the aggressor. So you'll need to get out of areas, go back and charge up at health stations, as well as be very quick with that battery. Something I found very interesting about this mode Overcharge on this map Grandview here is that nothing is limited once you have the battery. So you can use all of your abilities, run, jump, whatever you want, shoot while you have the battery. A lot of games with objective-based modes like this limit you as the carrier, but here they just want you to still be your super sweet, souped-up stealth. There definitely is kind of a little bit of like an anime superhero vibe to it. I hate to keep using the comparison of Overwatch because Gabe was very, very adamant that this plays completely different, and he said he liked this more than that as well, which is shaping up very nicely because LawBreakers will not be a full-price title, so it will have a little bit of separation from some of the pack when it releases later this year, and it will not be or pay to win in any sense. So they're not looking to have any boosts or any super characters or weapons be purchasable. It will all be aesthetic and sort of skin-based cosmetic stuff. So you can pay for additional things to sort of up your investment in LawBreakers, but it won't be to unbalance the game or sort of ruin the experience for the players that just want the base package. And I'm not sure what price that will come in at. I would guess probably 20 or 30. There will be more modes, and there will be more characters and more maps. This is just the sort of their go-to mode, Overcharge, with the battery, which I think is a pretty cool mode. It's a little bit of a riff on, like I said, sort of those capture the flag, objective-based modes, and there are some specific factors that make it very different. I think that sort of carryover on the charge is something that's going to lead to a lot of unique strategy. What if you decide to let the other team deal with most of the charge, come in for a last-second assault? It's risky, but it could be worth it because then when you bring the battery back, you only need to defend for 20 seconds and can sort of prepare an entire team onslaught. I think it looks super fun. I'm super bummed that I didn't get to play it myself. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the footage. Gabe had a great time. When he was telling me about it, I was super pumped, and I'm super glad that I get to share this with you because it looks freaking awesome. I am very excited to get my hands on it. Hopefully we do soon. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below. You got any questions or thoughts on the game, definitely let me know those as well. Hit that thumbs up button if you had fun here today. LawBreakers coming out later this year. While Gears 4 is going back to the well, Cliff Blazinski is trying to take things in a whole new direction. We'll see how that pans out. Till that time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Drink some hot chocolate. Until next time, we will see you all later.